Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. You are looking and watching Let's Talk the Business Edition, the Business Spotlight Edition, and I'm so honored and grateful to have Vickie Helm here today to talk to us about just anything from business to interaction with spirituality, how it works together. So before we get started, let me let you go ahead, Vickie, and introduce yourself and give us a little bit of your information.
I'm Vickie Helm. I'm a best-selling author. I have over 40 books now out, and I'm getting ready to release another pretty soon. I'm CEOing two companies right now. Have about 18 under my belt. 6 have failed, but 13 have been very successful. And I love business. I love self-development, and I absolutely love spirituality as well together. And so I molded those two things back together when it wasn't very popular, when people said, spirituality doesn't belong at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought, no, that's not true. It really does belong at work. And so I've been doing that and speaking all over the world and doing all kinds of businesses ever since then, probably for, oh my gosh, running on 25 years.
Wow, it's a long
Mhm.
time, long time. So when you had said that, when people tell you that it doesn't belong there, you know, what's the justification? Like, how do you explain that it does belong there?
It's so interesting because no matter who you are in this world,
Mm-hmm.
every person born on this planet came from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
They came from somewhere and they took on a physical body. And the
That's
place where they came from gave them an assignment. The assignment feels like a calling to you. You have a calling.
right. Mm-hmm.
So your calling can come out in several ways. One of my favorite ones that I really like to talk about is Oprah's, and she said in school that there was a point where she was always called on because she was talking all the time. And so what ended up happening when she was like, there, you're talking, and you're talking. And
Right.
so now she makes her living talking. And part of what we do divinely
Mm-hmm.
becomes effortless in the
Mm.
physical. It's
Yeah.
effortless. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you take a look at anybody that has been able to take their calling and
Mm-hmm.
their actual thing, their gift that God gave them,
Mm-hmm.
you'll find out that they can turn it into a business. They can turn it into something that
Mm-hmm.
will be able to garner them happiness, success, and prosperity as well.
You hit it on the head, Vickie. When Kathy Lee Gifford had said this years ago on either she said it on Regis and she said it on Kathy Lee Today's Show. She
Yeah,
said her father told her to find something that you love to do and then find a way to get paid to do it, and you'll
that's
never
right.
work a day in your life. And that
No.
always stuck with me. She said it a lot on the show, and it always stuck with me because it made sense. And that's what she did all her life, and even now,
Mhm.
she's reinvented herself. Now she's doing stuff in Nashville. She's doing movies. Like, she's doing everything that she loves to do. And even with the Oprah incident, that's what she loves to do. And this is what I love to do. I figured this out just 2 years ago.
Yeah, and that's interesting. It's okay that you figure it out later. Like, I remember when I was younger in my teens, I always thought I was going to be a rock star or something like that. I
Mm-hmm.
never thought, oh, you're going to be an author, or you're going to be a speaker, or you're going to be a mentor to people. I never thought that before, or you're going to love business development. But the way I see business for me is
Mm-hmm.
I see it as a video game, and every time I make a dollar, that's a point. And so my goal is to really serve and get really good at that, and then
Mm-hmm.
get the highest score I can. And
Right.
so once you understand that, how you cook, and your mom teaches you to cook, and at first you can only cook eggs and toast or small
Yeah.
things. But then after a while, you know how to cook a whole meal. And then
Mm-hmm.
pretty soon, if you have a family and you have kids or something, all of a sudden you're going to be standing by the refrigerator and going, I don't know what I'm going to cook. You're going to open it up and you're like, okay, I can take this and this and this and this and throw it
It makes
together and voila, it's a
exactly.
meal. That's the
Mm-hmm.
same with business. Once you understand how business runs, it's like learning to cook. Once you
Okay.
learn to cook, you
Mm-hmm.
can be like, okay, I want to have a manufacturing plant. No, I want to have a publishing company. No, I want to have a talk show. No, I want to have a, all of a sudden, it's like you learn to cook in that way. And what
Mm-hmm.
happens is if you listen inward, in fact, in the Bible, it's
Mm-hmm.
First Corinthians, and I can't remember if it's 1 through 12 or 6 through 12 or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it's First Corinthians. They talk about everybody being born with a gift. To
That's right.
some, there's going to be prophecy. To some, there's going to be understanding. To some, there's all these gifts that you have as you come in human. And the
Mm-hmm.
question is, what's your gift? And when you use that gift, you can turn it into profit. When you know business, you can turn it into prosperity by serving others and helping people with your gift. But first, the question should be, what's my gift? So maybe you have to be patient. Like I remember being in college and they were like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, I don't know. Because
Mm-hmm.
on the list of everything wasn't these new jobs that we have now. Could you
Mm-hmm.
imagine being like on Let's Talk and having your own live show when you
No,
were 16 or 18 picking the technology wasn't around then. So suddenly your career shows up exactly, the divine timing of it shows up exactly when it's time. And so now you have this whole audience you can reach. You have people that you can talk to, and so many things you can do now that you couldn't do before.
that's
So,
right.
what's there is the ability to be patient and keep honing your craft, because the opportunity and the moment is going to meet your divine timing, and boom, then things take off.
Yeah, and divine order. I believe in that. I really
Mhm.
believe that things are fall into line into place, and you just got to be ready when that time comes, and be
Mhm.
comfortable in who you are. And that's another thing too, because I think a lot of us don't know who we are to even hone into your passions or your
Yes.
purpose. I think that's
Yeah,
what the
that's huge. What you just said is so important. What you just said is the core thing. It's like there is what she just said about having to know yourself. You know, we're always in outer space. We're always trying to make it to the moon or to the outer space, outer. But it's the inner space that you have to master before success happens. And
hmm
people try to ignore the inner space, or they're like, there's not really anybody to even know in there. There's so much in the outer space. Well, a lot of the outer space is entertainment, and it'll take you off your purpose, off your message, if you
hmm
can't explore your inner space that way.
That's
And I
right.
thought what you said was just so important to have that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, because you really open up the gateway here with it with what you're saying. Everyone's purpose is everyone's purpose, meaning that is not what sometimes not what you think it is.
That's right.
It's not what your parents told you it was going to be. It's not
That's right.
it's not
That's for
what
sure.
the industries and the worlds are telling you the latest and greatest is going to be. Is
Mhm.
exactly, you see so many people, especially now with this great resignation going on in this world
Yeah.
right now, that people who are doctors and lawyers and policemen and policewomen are now veterinarian. I saw it on the news just the other day. Retired from the police force, and now she has a marketing firm. And you have
Mhm.
another person who was in corporate 500 for 25 years, and now she's a vet tech, helping
Wow.
groom dogs and help assist with surgeries and stuff, getting paid way less. And then that's the first thing the interviewer said. So you're getting paid way less to do this. So why would you want to do this? And right there, it made me think that's not the reason why she's doing it. Obviously, she's doing it because she is happy. And for the interviewer to answer that question, either it's just a question she's asking or she doesn't know what she wants to do. Because
Yeah.
if you're driven to ask that question about money, then that's what your drive is. So are you doing what you're supposed to be doing, or you're just trying to reach the top of whatever this ladder is?
Yes, yes. And you know what's so interesting about that is I remember going through this. I remember leaving that high-powered corporate job and everything
Mhm.
else. And in the beginning, you're going to take less money because it's just a step down in that way. But then you build and build and build. But the thing that's happening was, I had a business with 6 partners. Actually, it was 3 married couples. So there were 6 of
Mhm.
us, but there were three
Mhm.
married couples. And the interesting thing about this business was we put an ice cream pizza store in the center of a small town that didn't have anything but a lot of tourists, but no place for the tourists to go and eat and
Okay.
uh, play. So, what was important for me, the big growth thing that I learned was that what ended up happening was nobody who started that business, all 3 couples had businesses outside of that, so nobody needed the profit, not one single bit. So what ended up happening was all the profit that we came in, we reinvested it back into the community. Like we paid for new soccer fields for the kids. We invested in the fire department. We
Wow.
took care of the seniors. We in fact we had more tips on where the money should go that month because nobody needed the profits. And that changed me so much where I learned in my heart the
Mhm.
value a business can have
Mhm.
in a community. And I know that most small business owners, whether you're online or offline, most of them tithe to something in the world to make the world a better place. I get that.
Right.
But when you get to the point where you understand how your gift, no
Mhm.
matter how small it is. And for those of you who are hiding and saying I have no gifts, that's not true. That's just a mindset you have. And everybody
Mm.
has two
Yeah.
pieces of them. They have a mindset and a divine set. The
Mm.
mindset and the divine set. Your gifts are not in your mindset. Your mindset is there to serve your divine set, which is the gifts that you have within you. And if you're not doing exactly what she said to do, which is look inward instead of outward, that's why you can't find your gifts. If you find
Wow.
that gifts and you are able to literally serve people and think to yourself, yes, the money will come, but that's not the primary reason I'm doing it. If all you're about is, I got to make more money, I got to make more money, I got to make more money, then you're in this poverty mentality. If you're getting a business that you can serve, if you're
Mm.
getting a business that has a calling, if you're getting a business, the joy and love that you have for your business is going to seep out of your skin and your eyes and the way you treat your customers and the way you treat people, how you serve the world, and boom, you're going to see all of that gratitude that you're expressing this way coming back to you. It's that energetic thing that you hold as a business owner. A business owner is a leadership position, and you can either worry yourself and fight all the way, or you can divine yourself and know that there is something greater than you who gave you this opportunity, purpose, and calling, put it right in
Mhm.
front of you so that
Mhm.
you could run with it and run with
Yes.
it with your whole heart, not just your mind. You have a mindset and a divine set.
Mhm. Oh, you said a lot. You said a lot right
Sorry.
there, Vickie.
Thank
The
you.
mindset and the divine set. So your divine set maybe never be discovered as long as you have the same mindset. So you need to kind of
Mm-hmm.
work on that mindset first, because it's kind of like a tunnel that's closed up. Like your divine can't come through until your
That's
mind is
right.
open, right? Good
That's
analogy.
right.
So now your mind gets to be open. So until you open your mindset to see and the purpose, and that's the word purpose means something.
Mm-hmm.
Purpose. It means that you're serving. It's a
That's right.
purpose. Now, what we do, especially in this world here, we of course we want to get paid. Of course we want.
Yeah,
We have,
I do.
yeah, we
And
want
I
abundance.
like all the money I make.
We want
I've
abundance.
earned it. Yeah.
Right. You want abundance. That's great. We all want abundance. But I think what happens is we put the cart in front of the horse. We don't really do it in the right order. And
Interesting. Yes.
when you just said that if you're gratitude, you're grateful and you're serving, the money will follow. If you chase money, money will always run from you, right? So you have
You'll be
to,
stressed out.
yeah, it's always running from you. And it's energy.
Mhm,
Money is energy. So
mhm,
energy flows. You're going to receive money. And I think if you put that in that mindset, that money is going to flow to you as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do and living that purpose, I think everything will
mhm,
kind of work itself out. And another point you said too about the job, there's a lot of people I know personally that is changing careers. Like we all in the early 50s now, and they want to kind of live in this purpose,
mhm,
but they don't want to sacrifice because they scared of the fear of doing. Because you're going to have to come down a little bit when you first start off somewhere. You got to learn it, and you got to work in the entry levels of stuff. But you're not going to stay there. But that's fearful, that's scared right there to be down. When you got used to a certain income and now you got to kind of take the income down a little bit. You think you're going backwards. You're 50 something years old and you're going backwards, but you're not going backwards. You're actually going forward because that's part of the process.
mhm.
So you want to talk about
It's the
that?
same. Thank you for that. This is so important for me to share with you because
Mm-hmm.
the place of having that faith and trust, it's like no matter what you say or no matter what you do, the first thing
Mm-hmm.
I want to address is that purpose doesn't
Mm-hmm.
come from your mind.
Right.
The
Exactly.
purpose comes from your divine. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to look for your purpose with your mind, it's not going to show up. Now,
Okay.
can you have more than one purpose?
Yeah.
Yes, you can have multiple purposes. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, the more that you allow the divine to lead what you're doing and
Mm-hmm.
do it well with a level
Mm-hmm.
of excellence,
Mm-hmm.
the more they will call on you. So, for instance, Oprah was just at the news station and then they bumped her up to having her own show. Then they
Mm-hmm.
bumped her up to here, create a network
Mm-hmm.
and all this, build a school, do this, all those things that she could do because her leadership and her connection with the divine. If you're willing to be used by the divine, it will use you. If you're not willing to be used by the divine, what are you being used by that is still using you now? That's
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable. That's
Mm-hmm.
out there. That controls
Mm-hmm.
your wallet, controls your mind, controls where you live. All of those things in that sense of purpose. The first thing you have to know is that you can't think your way into purpose. Purpose comes through your soul, through your heart, and you just know. You don't have to research. You don't have to learn. It's like the time you said, "Ooh, it's time to have let's talk." You just know it's time to have let's talk. You
Mm-hmm.
don't think, "Oh my gosh, should I do this or this or this?" Or if you do throw a dart at a board and you're like, "What career should I have?" Then you're using your mind, which is what we're taught to do. Now, in business, in very successful businesses,
Mm-hmm.
you see Amazon because Amazon, people love and hate it and etc. But
Mm-hmm.
Amazon was a guy who took used books and he had this little room in his used books. And now he's created 600,000 jobs around the world and
Mm-hmm.
millions of entrepreneurs around the world who have their own Amazon stores. He
That's
has
right.
created abundance on multi levels. And the reason he is probably the largest store in the world is because how it all trickles out. It's not that you just buy from Amazon and then you pay Amazon and it's all good and either you work for Amazon or you don't. That's Walmart. You can go to
Right.
Walmart, etc. How does Walmart help you build a business? How does Walmart help you get your products to market? And
Mm.
you take a look at the different mindsets. And I like Jeff. I think he's innovative and I think
Mm-hmm.
what he's done for the world is exceptional. And I think that with Steve Jobs, and I think that with all the big creators, Steve Jobs, he got fired from the baby that he made, which was, Apple. And he was like, okay, that hurt, and dusted himself off and then became part of Pixar. And
Mm-hmm.
Pixar was so big. It's like, did he have two purposes? Yes.
Yes.
And maybe the reason the divine fired him from Apple was so he could create Pixar.
Mm-hmm.
Because right away, once he was done there, where did he go back to? Apple was like, okay, we need you, Steve. And he came back here.
Right.
And so you can see that you can be multi-purposed in what you do. How you think about what is happening to you is super important when you're a
Mhm.
business leader. So if you're thinking, oh, this happened to me and it tanked my business and it's gone belly up, etc., then you're not seeing how it's happening for you and you're not paying attention
Mhm.
to the opportunity like they did at Pixar. The next
Mhm.
thing, the third thing I want to say is when
Mhm.
you have a level of excellence, when you have a level of excellence,
Mhm.
everybody wants to work with you and you will have multiple projects. So if you wrote
Wow.
one book, people might say, oh, that's great. But 40 books later, there's not anybody I could say, hey, you want to co-write a book with me? And they're going to go, no. They're going to say 40 books later,
No.
I have, so many bestsellers. They're thinking, ooh, a best-selling author just asked me if I wanted to co-write a book with you. The answer is yes. And
Mhm.
so that has to be you too. You get to set the bar of who you are. Are you
Mhm.
going to be the best show host? Are you going to be the best at whatever you do, the best book writer? I
Mhm.
made the best ice cream in house when we had the ice cream store, the best pizza. Though
Mhm.
when you take pride in that, suddenly your customers will be there and opportunities begin to show up. People
Mhm.
want to back up excellence. And I
Yes.
think that's why, it's like Steve and Jeff and all those big guys are all excellent. Now, are there some bad apples? Yes.
Mhm.
But you throw the bad apples out and you pay
Mhm.
attention to the really good apples.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, okay. So, I had to write a couple of things down because you said something that I wanted to touch on. So, more than one purpose. So, when I decided to do a show to help women that are single who feels Valentine's Day is like a day of death, like like really that's where this show stemmed from, because when I have did my work and did my spiritual coaching and everything else, and I realized that singleness is a gift.
Mhm.
Singleness is a time that you develop and you grow and you become closer to God if you're a Christian or any kind of religion or whatever. So whatever your purpose, your
Mhm.
source, that
Yeah,
is time for
source.
you to get the divine and work on you to be that better person and find my purpose. And that was the purpose. That was the reason of all this happening, because when I had my breakdown, I felt that I was just floating around here and I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing here. And then I
Ah.
thought about it and I said, well, what do I like to do? Simple
Mhm.
question. What do you like? I love talking. I love networking. I love connecting people together.
Cool.
I like to, I love to give good advice and help people to become better people. I always loved anything that's you transform, anything
Mhm.
that I love those hoarder shows. I love makeovers. I love new haircuts. I could watch people get haircuts all day. I just love to see the before and
The
after.
new you.
Right. You see that how they feel about themselves when it's done. They look so pretty or look so nice or whatever.
Mm.
Like all those kind of things I used to loved all my life.
Mhm.
So I like transforming people. I love giving you
That's so
information. So
cool.
when I thought about all of that, of all the things I did all my life, easily and effortlessly done all my life, I realized that's my purpose. Let's talk is
Mhm.
my purpose. And I wrote the book. And then, I have a podcast.
Cool.
And I'm a motivational speaker. And I like to,
Mhm.
but you notice they just like you, they all in the same sector. There's different
Yeah.
facets of it, but it's all in the same, like Oprah is all in the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just
She's
different.
in me. Yes. Yes, and you can express all of those. I think what you said was so important because
Mhm.
a lot of times we can get caught in some thought that we actually believe that isn't helpful for us. So
Mhm.
for all the
Mhm.
single ladies, all the
Oh,
single ladies, all
ladies.
the single ladies, put your hands up. Okay,
Yeah,
so now we're
that's
gone.
right.
All
Put your
right,
hands
so
up.
for all you there,
Mm,
this is what happened for me. I didn't get married till I was in my 40s. And what was interesting about what was happening for me is where I was
mhm,
wasn't who I was. Where I was not who I was. And
mhm,
what happens is when you play smaller, you're mate, your husband, your soul mate, your twin flame, whatever you want to call it, may be waiting for you up here and you're
Uh-huh.
playing down here.
Mm.
And what happened over that development years, now I was very entrepreneurial. I had business after business after business. And when you have business after business, and I traveled a lot, speaking all over the world, etc. And what happened was I had to become the person, the fulfilled person, for my fulfilled person to show up. So if you're waiting for your soulmate to come by and lift you up, that's not going to happen. You're going to have to lift yourself up to where your soulmate is meeting you.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something, it is not going to be all fairy tales and roses when you lift yourself up. You have to make a decision and hold the concept of who you want to become. Hold the
Mm-hmm.
identity shift in your mind
Mm-hmm.
consistently. And so I had to do that for like 20 plus years. And so, you go dating and you have some relationships out there and
Mm-hmm.
they kind of tank, and you can start telling yourself, this isn't going to work for me, but it is working for you. What you have to do is stop telling yourself that there's something wrong with you and
Mm-hmm.
ask yourself, am I playing at my full potential? Because if your soulmate is playing at his full potential or her full potential, if there's
Mm-hmm.
some guys listening, they're waiting. That's all they can do is wait. Wait for
Right.
somebody, what are they going to do?
Right.
And so to me, playing at your full potential, when you decide to do that at any age, whether you're 16 or 11 or 10 or 100,
Mm-hmm.
there's no date. But as long as you play at your full potential,
Mm-hmm.
you're consistently growing. You're
Mm-hmm.
consistently becoming more hashtag aware, hashtag awake, hashtag
Mm-hmm.
awaken.
I've been
And
awakened. Yeah.
yeah, and that moment, because there are levels, when you get to a level of awakeness, you're like, oh,
Like the
and you'll
Matrix.
stay. Yeah, you'll stay at that oh for a little bit, and suddenly there's another oh level, and then you're like, oh, there's another level above that. It never
Right.
stops awakening. That's just the name of the game. You die when you cease to awaken or challenge yourself to
Mm.
awaken. You die in here and you're just dead before you die. You're just
Mm-hmm.
living a life that's wrote that way. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought what you said was so important, because we think purpose is one single thing. But purpose, you were made with purpose. You are purpose. You don't have purpose. You are divine purpose. That your whole being here, you could have been born at any time. You are completely and utterly divine purpose from head to toe. And the
Mm-hmm.
only person that doesn't know it could be you. But the divine knows it,
Oh,
and your
yeah.
guides know it. And
Yes.
even if you're like, well, I can't remember what my purpose is, they remember. And
They
if you
sure
ask
do.
them,
They sure
you
do.
might get some help.
That.
And I'm going to tell you what, money and purpose go together.
Mm-hmm.
Money and meaning go together. And so prosperity is surrendering to the divine within you.
Mm-hmm.
Poverty is digging your heels in the ground and saying, but, I can't, excuse. That's poverty. And if
Mm.
you can't break that and surrender to who you are, and I mean surrender to who you are, and that means it's a deep conversation with yourself to surrender who you are. Have you ever liked a song that everybody else hate, or
Yeah.
wore something that you
Yeah.
really like to wear that your other friends decided wasn't flattering, but you're
Mm-hmm.
like, but I love this jacket, or I love these pajamas, or I love them?
Uh-huh.
You have to learn to love what you love, even if others don't love it like you do. If you
Mm-hmm.
love that movie or love that song, or I always think,
Yes.
you remember that, um it Pitch Perfect is the movie or
Yes.
something.
Yes. You have a
um
rebel. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that's it. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
one of my male friends, he was like, um, I saw a really great movie last night. Don't judge. It was pitch perfect. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, men, you're not allowed to like pitch perfect. Women, we're allowed to like pitch perfect,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so I realize that kind of judgment there can
Mm-hmm.
play hampering on you saying, I actually like this. So I remember in high school, well, actually before high school, my dad let me taste a beer and I was like, that tastes terrible.
My
And
dad did
he's
the
like,
same thing.
oh God, it just tasted so bad. And he was like, see, you
And
don't
you
like
won't drink it.
beer. Yeah. He's like, you don't like beer. Like you don't like liver and onions. You don't like beer. And so some of us, when we grow up, we try to fake that we like beer when we don't like beer at all. And we're just drinking it so we belong. I mean, come on. You just have to be brave enough to go, no, thank you. I don't like beer and I don't like liver and onions. So I'm not going to drink beer and I'm not going to eat liver and onions. That's kind
And
of
it's
it.
so simple, but it's you say it's so simple, but it's obviously not because
Yeah.
people all
Yeah.
the time. Because I mean, I think we all had that in us. We come out so pure, and then we just fall in line with all these belief systems and all these
Or want to belong.
want to belong, and we just kind of not be who we are, you
Yeah.
know. Like you were saying about the purpose and the even the dating, how you want this guy, that's, you hear that all the time. Oh, I want him to have a six pack and have six figures and do this.
Hmm.
And then you look at you like, okay, are you equaling up to what you're asking for?
Yeah.
Like, you want this dangle and distress, or you just want somebody to pull you, like you said, up. But instead of using that time, like you said, that mindful time for you to be that singleness time to do you. And I know people's like, we mean do you? Do you mean like actually do you? Like actually work on you, like actually putting time and investment in you. We invest in everything else. We invest in beauty, we invest in
Clothes and
clothes and cars, and
you
we
buy that
invest
$1,000 purse and you don't even have $1,000 to put in the purse.
but we don't put investment in a class or a seminar or a
Yep.
master class or something that's going to actually make us a better person to help us find these, like, well, like you said, your purpose is in you, but a lot of times we need to kind of figure it out. And then why you don't invest in yourself, you hesitate, you will question and hesitate that class. You're like, oh, that class is $500. Well, man, I don't know, because I mean, what are you telling me for $500? Want me to get out of this for $500? But then you go buy a shirt and a pair of shoes for $500 and give them a card like it was no big deal. So that kind of make you think about, like, well, you should be thinking about like what's going on with you, because if you could give that up like that, but you can't give up to invest in your own self,
Hmm.
how does that work? Like,
So
that's where you need to,
true.
right, but that's how you need to kind of start it off at, like, question your belief systems. If you're believing that this is cool, you need to think about this. It's not cool, because that shirt and them shoes are going to be outdated eventually, right? So
In
now
a
they
year, you'll be buying something new because they'll
you
be
be having
out
it
of
on,
style.
and you be having it on one of those sites that you're trying to sell it off for a fraction of the
Hmm.
cost, fraction
Yeah.
of the cost. So I feel that we need to kind of put more into ourselves, like you said, and and
Amen.
and then you'll figure that out. But you
Hmm.
have to start somewhere, and like you said, to start with your mindset, and then you find out your divine set. And yes, you're gonna go through some valleys, you're gonna go through some wilderness, because it's not gonna be a situation that everything gonna be
Yeah.
rosy.
Yeah.
Because I even though I'm the best spot I've ever been in my life, but you're still learning, you're still growing, and I don't
That's
have.
just easier and more fun now.
Yes, yes, I enjoy what I do. And even though I know everything's on the algorithm, I know everything's on likes and clicks and this and that.
Yeah.
But I always believe that as long as I keep doing what I do and I'm happy what I'm doing, it all will come. It will
Hmm.
all come. We're a microwave society, that we feel that if you're not that person that got on TikTok and got exposed in 2 days and have 1 million views viral, that you're never going to become anything. And you can't do that. That's just a fluke. That you may hear about those, but that's not the reality of it. People put in a couple of years here and there and grow. It doesn't happen overnight. But if you're doing something you love, the time will go so fast, because you're not really seeing it as I'm trying to chase that dollar. You're just trying to help people. I think
Hmm.
that's I think that's the value of it, and I think that
I
that's what
think,
God rewards you for.
yeah, I do want to share one thing because I
Sure.
think there are some important tactics to learn as you improve yourself. And one of them is, it's like once you learn about you and once you
Mm-hmm.
begin to learn about your values, you want to know, who do you want to be outside of having a man and a family?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want to be as a woman? And
Mm-hmm.
what's going to be super important, and I remember going through this, I really want to say this to you. I don't care what age you are. You have to learn about money and finances. Full stop. You have to learn the money game. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, if it's like there's a part of women who feel like, well, if I find a rich man, here's what I want to tell you. And I want to tell you the truth. This is the absolute data and statistics
Mm-hmm.
that is in a book I wrote. But in the data and statistics, a lot of the men and women who make $1 million a year do it once in their lifetime, only once. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, if you take a look at, NBA players and people
Mm-hmm.
who make 10 million a year, etc., most of them are dead broke like 3 to 4 years
Mm-hmm.
after they're done with their professional career.
That's right.
So you can't marry somebody because they're doing well right now. Everything ebbs and flows and ebbs and flows. Like, I've made 7 figures and gone bust overnight based on 9/11 happening or a regulation change. And I live in the state of Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the day, I had my Amazon store, and it was a monthly money's coming in, and it
Mm-hmm.
was working on autopilot. And I was like, oh God, I made it. That was so awesome. Back then, Colorado was like the first state who decided that it was going to charge Amazon taxes. And Amazon was so big by then, they were like, taxes, poof, no Amazon sales in the state of Colorado. So
Wow.
everybody who had an Amazon store in the state of Colorado, it was closed the next day. It was done. As soon as that regulation went in there, my income went from booming to nada in 24 hours
Wow.
because of this regulation change. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't like depend on a man to, or a woman. If you're like marrying for money, oh, she's going to have money forever, I'm going to riches the life, blah blah blah. The best way to protect your money is to know about how to earn it, how to protect it, how to grow it, how to make it work for you. And that is part of cooking. It's that part of learning to cook with your money and everything else. So,
Mm-hmm.
for those women out there, stop hunting for wealthy men and become that wealthy woman, and become so wealthy that you're discerning about, because one of the things I did, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible.
Mm-hmm.
When I was young and a lot of money came in, I lived a show off life. And that
Mm-hmm.
was, I'll show off how much money I have. I got to the point where I was like, I could buy that right now just because I want it. I could buy it. And there's a certain feeling of power you think you have when you can go up to the BMW dealer and go, yeah, I'll take that one. And you don't even actually want the BMW. You just want the satisfaction of being able to
Mm-hmm.
do it right then.
Mm-hmm.
So suddenly I had like all these houses and all these cars, wasn't happy. Real estate was not my thing. And I was like, I actually don't like owning all this real estate. So I literally had to, and I had the really big house. And what I found out for me was, I don't like big houses. I like cozy houses. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, the beach house by the by the ocean, or the mountain
Mm-hmm.
cottage. I'm that kind of girl. I don't want, 20,000 square feet. I'd be like, I'm lost in the house. Where are
I
you?
can't
I
find
don't know. I'm by the big bathroom at the station. Somebody send somebody over. In your mind, you're a woman. You're like, who are we going to hire to clean this place? Because it sure ain't going to
it
be
ain't gonna be
me.
me.
That's right. you know and I realized, oh my gosh, I don't even like big houses. I don't need anything. It's like the biggest house I ever want to own, maybe 3,000 square feet.
Right.
But I like cozy, and I like these. What do you like? Don't fall for somebody else's description of wealth. You have to know what you like. Otherwise, you're going to end up saying, well, I invested all in this stuff and I don't even like it, or I don't understand it. The worst thing
Mm-hmm.
you can do is invest in something you don't understand. Get yourself your financial education and do that now. Do that
Yes.
now. I don't care how much money. I don't care if you're like, well, my husband's made him $500,000 a year for the last 10 years. I don't care. He could be gone tomorrow and die of a heart attack. Do me a favor and learn how to use your money and get yourself insured
Great
and put
advice.
all your things in place.
Great advice. Yes, that's called investing in yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Investing in yourself.
Exactly what she said. That's what you want to do. Invest in yourself before you invest in that new suit
Oh, that new relationship trying to,
or that new relationship.
that's the like easy way out. A lot of times that's the easy way out. But it comes with a cost.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's free. So yeah, you may get that and feel that, oh, I can lay back and just get everything. No, because it comes with a cost. If he's gonna be paying for everything, you're gonna be paying for something. Believe me, you're not gonna be just sitting back and just chilling. It's gonna something's gonna be asked of you, or
That's
you're
right.
gonna be, gonna put you in a situation that he gonna feel that you owe me because I'm taking care of you. You don't
And
want to be.
the other way too, if all those six-figure ladies that are out there right now, yes, your money can get you more attention because you dress better and people know money when they see it. They're
That's right.
like, oh, they have that earring, they have that watch, they have that car, they have that lifestyle. You want a partner. You want
Mm,
a partner. You don't want somebody who's going to be like, well, she brings home the bread and I'm all, out with the boys, or I'm chilling
mm,
and oh, I can't
mhm,
clean the house, or you want a partner. So
mhm.
you have to be discerning at this point. If a partner is there, they love you for better or for worse,
That's right.
and the future is going to be about power couple marriages, power couple partnerships. They're going to be home based businesses, whether you run a Let's Talk show or bookkeeping or,
Mhm,
I don't care. It could be solar, it could be garden,
mhm,
whatever you do. It's going to be a business that is couples. Those are
mhm.
big right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I see all the TV shows. They most of them on HD TV. Is it
Mhm.
home TV?
HGTV.
Most of those are couples.
Mhm.
Most of them are married couples on these shows now, and that
Yes.
sells. That sells. I see about 4 or 5 of the shows, even more. That's all couple based
Mhm.
show. So, wow, Vickie, you have dropped a lot of knowledge today. Oh
Well,
my,
I just need a couple more points for the business and spirituality.
yes.
Ladies, women are your friends. Stop stabbing them in the back. Stop talking bad behind their back.
Mm,
Stop
I'm talking, Vickie.
belittling each other. We are women and we need to lift each other up. That is
Hmm.
so important. And you lift up your men as well. Don't be what they call a Karen. Don't be somebody that somebody can't trust.
Right.
The You want to surround yourself with great girlfriends. You want to surround yourself with women who are supportive of you, not gossiping about you. You
Mm,
want women who are going to cheer for you when you succeed, not be angry at you. You want people in your corner and you want to have a close knit of that. Now, if it's not your family and it's not your friends right now, you can outgrow the friends you have. If you're growing, you can
mm,
outgrow them. But if you're going to outgrow them, because it's going to happen,
mm.
the more you step up, it's going to happen. Just accept it.
Yes,
You
Vickie.
may outgrow your sister, you may outgrow your high school and college friends. You're going to outgrow these friends, but you want to make relationships with women who are vibrant, intelligent. Consider learning and reading books and doing those things that are going to help them succeed more. Those are the ones you want to make your friends, and you want to do it now, not yesterday, not tomorrow, right now. This is really important to have as your support system. You want to be able to say, I closed that client today, and have them go, yes, and celebrate you. If you're
Yeah.
not celebrated 100% of the time, and you're like my posse, I'm telling you, I don't know what I would do. I call them my ride or die friend list. And
Hmm.
it's not easy to get into my ride or die friend list. But once you're in there, we have loyalty for each other and love for each other. And we're just always going to be there. Sometimes you have to give up your past to embrace your now
Mm.
and who you are now. And if you change your identity here and here, it's going to change your identity all around you.
You just You said something that I have, and I am I'm having right now, experiencing things. It's going to happen. There's
Mhm.
no way around it.
Yep.
You could try, and I think that the tug of war you trying to keep because you feel that you have to, or
Yeah.
you doing something wrong, it plays in your mind, because
Yeah.
it's nothing bad, and it's a cycle of life. Like, that's part of life.
Hmm.
Even Tyler Perry said it. There's the trees, there's roots, there's branches, and there's leaves, and there's people that are leaves that you're trying to make them brown
Yeah.
roots, and that's the reason why you're having a lot of conflict with people, or you're not in sync with
Mm.
them, because you're trying to take seasonals and make them lifetimes. And I
Yes.
think when you realize what's going, and it's not a bad thing. People are in your life sometimes for reasons and seasons. That's their
That's
job,
right.
and we're trying to make them more than what it is, because in our mindsets that we were taught, especially belief systems and stuff, as you watch movies and TVs and you see, and don't get me wrong, I have friends, I've been friends for 40 years and we are
I
great.
do too.
We are great. I've been friends with people since elementary school, and we are fabulous. But
Hmm.
there's people that are part of that journey that sometimes you have to let them go on certain levels. You don't have to be
Hmm.
a dramatic exit, and I don't want to be your friend no more. You're not on my level. You're not trying
That's
to act like
right.
you're better than somebody. You just be, hey, once in a while y'all may chat it up. Once in a while you say, hey, how you doing? Check on each other. You still got that love for that person, but
That's
you the
right.
daily, every day thing is different, because you can't do
Hmm.
that every day, because if their mindsets is on something totally different than yours and you're trying to go like here and they still here and negative
Hmm.
vibes and all, that pulls energy out of you. And
Absolutely.
I realized that the importance of peace. I
Hmm.
realized the importance of having that peace with you. And when you awaken, you're not going to want to go back to where you was at, because it feels like
That's right.
it's like a
You
high.
can't.
You
You don't
can't.
know how to go back.
You
Once
can't.
you cross that bridge, there's no back.
No, it's
There's
blown up.
no, oh, I'm going to go in reverse. It's
No, the
just
bridge is
no.
now blown up. There's no
That's right.
going
You
back.
burn the bridge right behind you.
Because you feel a feeling that you never felt before, and
That's
and when
right.
you get it, you go, okay. And but part of you going is like, well, they might, and I must think I'm better than them. It's like, you're not better than anyone. You just better. You better yourself. Yourself
Yeah.
is better. That's all it is. You know, you hit it right there. Oh my
You
goodness.
want to ask yourself every
Mhm.
day when you meet someone, is this a person who needs a friend or is this a person who is a friend? And
Oh,
that's the
say that again,
question
Vickie. Say that one more time.
you have to ask yourself, is
Uh-huh.
this person someone who needs a friend or is this someone who is a friend?
Oh wow.
And the is a friend is a relationship you can develop. Someone who needs a friend is somebody who's just going to suck the energy out of you. And you should go through your friend list and say, is this a friend or is this a friend in need? It's
Hmm.
the whole time. If you have somebody who's constantly needing, and they're not a friend unless they need something, they need to
Hmm.
be out of your life.
They
They
need to
need to
be.
be out of your they need to be out of your sphere. You want
Uh-huh.
relationships that you can show up in and they will show up with you. If they
Hmm.
can't show up with you, they're not a friend. They're not someone who you can make a long-term commitment with. And I have friends that I'm like you, I have friends 35 years, we've been friends, etc. And we're on the same trajectory on our own separate paths, but we're
Hmm.
continuing to grow and we're supportive
Right.
and no matter when I call, whether it's 1 year or 2 years or 2 months or 2 weeks, we leave off right where we
You
left
left.
off.
That's right.
Just right there in that moment. And to me, if you want business success, I will tell you this: your life will not be successful because you have a successful business. You will have a successful business because your life is
Life is
successful.
successful.
And
That's
you
right.
have to get that straight. It's kind of like, I'll be happy when. No,
Mm.
you got to be happy first, and then the when
Mhm.
just kind of happens.
Yes,
That's
yes.
that path forward, that unfolding of you is the greatest, most empowering journey. And whether you think there's something in you or not, or whether you think you're too weird or too lost or too ugly or too fat or too skinny or too tall or too short or whatever, you're thinking with your mind. And you cannot think your way through your inner. You have to surrender and feel your way through your inner.
Mhm.
And whatever happened in your past, everybody's got an ugly past. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
There's
Oh yeah.
nobody with the perfect childhood doesn't
No.
exist.
No.
Everybody's got traumas. Everybody's got
Mhm.
stuff they went through. But
Mhm.
that's not who you are. That's just what you went through.
Went through. That's right.
Don't you want to know who you are
Mhm.
before you die?
Exactly.
That's the whole journey of this. And the reason I like business is because when you open a business, I don't care who you are, the thing that has been blocking you your whole life is the first thing that's going to show up. So
Mm.
if you're like, I don't know what I need to work on, then just figure out a business. And wherever you're scared or feel stuck or wherever, that's the same place you've been scared or stuck your whole life.
Mm.
Business is the thing that helps you break through, and you get paid while you make the breakthrough. Business
Mhm.
is a thing that helps you break through all your blocks. As long as you go, your business is a mirrored reflection of who you are right now. And as you journey and awaken and do more and be more prosperity and abundance comes to you over time, not overnight, over
Mhm.
time.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh my goodness. Well, that's a great ending to this. To this, Vickie. This has been amazing. This has been amazing. I know this is going to help a lot of
Thank you.
people. It's going to help a lot of people because it helped me. I wrote so many notes down in these talks. This is amazing. So I do appreciate it. Do you have anything you want to close in and give us like a last word of encouragement or anything? You know, you already kind
There
of gave
is something I want to
us a book.
say. I want to say this. If you're looking to grow and you're looking for daily something or weekly something, and you're not subscribing to her channel, you're crazy. Regina, I have seen the guests she's brought on. If you're looking for inspiration, motivation, and those things that are going to help you create thriving in your life, then subscribe right now to her channel and watch and continue to watch, because she brings on really powerful experts to help you have thrivability in your life. That's what I want to leave you with. Like,
Oh, thank you.
subscribe, do it now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
No,
much.
thank you. It has been an honor to chat with you.
Yes, and I definitely will love for you to be on one of our shows. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh. I just want to talk about one of these. We can talk about all this all over again. Let's do a repeat because this is something I'm telling you, my audience will love this. I mean, this is so powerful and so empowering that you could understand, get some answers, work on yourself, and change your life. It's just amazing, amazing. So
Thank you.
as you see, Vickie Helm's information has been scrolling on the bottom of the screen the whole time because I want to make sure that you get it. Check out her website. She has over 40 books. As you know, she knows what she's talking about. She's proven herself tonight. So any book that she has is going to better your life. You know, so is there anything else that you got in your cooking or anything you're doing?
Well, yeah, actually, I got a couple of things. One is if you go to my website, there
Mhm.
is going to be a link to a 14-day free course that you can take about how to do and launch your own live show like this and how it'll benefit you. But I get asked that because I have my own show as well, and I do that,
Mhm.
and so if you want to learn how to have your own live show and do something great for 2022, on my site, look for Freedom Seekers Way.
Mhm.
And it is the live show launch accelerator program. It's completely free. And in 14 days, you could be up and running. And if you're a woman and you are out there wondering, what book should I read next? I
Exactly.
would suggest this one, The She Myth, Redefining
Nice.
Women in Business. And this is the number one bestseller that I have, which is out right now on
Achievement.
Amazon.
Okay.
Yep, Redefining Women in Business. And this one will help any woman in leadership positions um, work with the dynamics of working in what we call the she myth, which is a lot of what we talked about. And I'm not going to give it away. I'm just going to
No,
say,
no,
go
no,
read the
no.
book.
Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely. we're going to go ahead and put that in there, and I'll get that information from you so I could plug it into the podcast so people could actually get that book. And
Thank
I
you.
definitely
It's
will
on my
definitely.
site as well,
It's on your
obviously.
site as well. So okay, so great. And I wanted to and I actually going to send you a gift, and I also wanted to show it out to
Yay.
I have a
Ah,
book on Amazon right now,
all
and it's
right.
called a Powerful Podcast Journal. And what it does is keep you organized because I'm a professional organizer by trade. So what I wanted
Wow.
to do is make a book because I always use a little journal and write all my episodes and the topics and the questions and the, all the stuff that you write about your podcast. So now you can
Fantastic.
do it right in this book, and it
How
keeps it all
fantastic.
together. So all your episodes are in the journal, and you could just flip it around and you could keep up, and then you could do a review of yourself and what you want to change and do different. It has everything in here. So I'm going to definitely send this out to you as a gift for being
Thank
on our
you. Oh my
show
gosh,
and
that
a
is so
fellow
sweet.
podcaster. So I
Thank
just want
you.
you to know that we do appreciate you here on Let's Talk, and we're definitely going to go ahead and get that out to you as soon as possible.
All right.
As
See, I
soon as possible.
scored. Thank you.
Definitely, definitely. So if you don't mind holding on, when we chime off for a second, but I was going to tell my Let's Talk crew, thank you so much for joining us this evening. This has been a treat and an honor. Vickie Helm is an amazing woman, and I definitely will be following her on from this point on, and everything you do in your endeavors, because I mean, you give
Thank
some
you.
great wisdom. You learned, and you're sharing, and that's what this life is about. So,
Thank
once
you
again,
so
thank
much.
you so much. And
Thank you.
until next time, we'll see you later. Thank you for joining Let's Talk. I'm your host, Regina Smithwick, and this has been Let's Talk, the Business Spotlight Edition. Until next time, thank you.